the twin brothers went to the big city to work, leaving their two beautiful wives to stay behind. A few days later, an unexpected event happened. The younger brother returned home with the older brother's ashes. However, the wife instantly recognized the person in front of her as her husband. She confronted him, asking why he was pretending to be his twin brother. Unexpectedly, the sister-in-law immediately became furious, saying that since her husband had died, he was coming to take hers. Since the villagers had always struggled to tell the twins apart, they began to criticize the wife for fighting with the sister-in-law for her husband. Seeing this, the sister-in-law maliciously pushed the pregnant woman down, scolding her for being shameless, saying that now that her husband was gone, she was trying to take someone else's. The push caused the woman to bleed heavily and fall unconscious. The next day, the husband coldly told the woman that the child couldn't be saved. After that, the wife seemed to change. She wandered around the village in a daze, often holding a doll. One day, she was struck by a speeding truck. The husband arrived at the scene, and as she lay dying, he revealed the truth. He admitted that her suspicion was correct. He was her husband, but he couldn't bear to let the sister-in-law become a widow at such a young age. He also revealed that the child was still alive. In secret, he had given the child she gave birth to the sister-in-law to raise. Upon hearing this, the woman died on the spot. She vowed to never forgive this cruel man, even as a ghost. Perhaps moved by her fate gave her a second chance. In the moment of her death, she suddenly opened her eyes again. She then realized that she had been reborn. The day she was reborn was the same day her husband was bringing back the ashes. This time, to avoid repeating the same fate, she decided to go with the flow. She didn't expose her husband immediately. Instead, she grabbed a wooden stick and hit him hard, scolding him for not taking care of his twin brother. She then held the ashes and cried out, calling her husband's name. Her unexpected reaction stunned him. Before he could react, she continued with her plan. She proposed holding an elaborate funeral for her husband and having a 7-day banquet for the villagers. Now that she was a widow and pregnant, the funeral expenses would have to be covered by her brother-in-law. The villagers supported this idea. After all, who wouldn't want a free meal for 7 days? Hearing this, the sister-in-law panicked. If they kept feeding everyone, their savings would be gone. But if they refused, they would be gossiped about. Seeing the awkwardness of the sister-in-law and husband, the wife seized the opportunity to stoke the fire, saying that both the brother and sister-in-law were very filial. They would never let the funeral be done poorly. This resonated with the villagers, and they agreed with the wife's words. One villager remarked that the brothers were famous for their deep bond, so the money shouldn't be paid by the wife alone. As the villagers began to agree with her, the husband and sister-in-law had no choice but to agree to pay for the funeral. With the villagers' help, the funeral and banquet went smoothly. The wife showed no sign of sadness. Instead, she warmly greeted the villagers, and the villagers didn't hold back, eating and enjoying themselves. The husband, watching from the side, was furious but dared not speak. He could only grit his teeth and swallow his anger. Soon, the 7-day banquet drained all their money. When the final day of the banquet came, the wife, holding her husband's portrait, made an announcement, saying that since her husband was dead, she would remarry. This scared the husband, and he immediately stopped her. But the villagers thought his reaction was excessive. After all, the wife remarrying was a good thing. She could take care of the child still in her womb. The villagers jokingly wondered if he had fallen in love with his own sister-in-law. When they saw the children call him a bad guy, the husband couldn't hold back any longer. He immediately declared that she couldn't remarry because the child in her womb was his.